動くなよ。
誰だてめえ。
一応サトシ・バチスタの代理人だ。な。
まだ生きてんのかあいつ。
Hey, and welcome back to another session of SakugaBreakdowns. This is Channel Cozy, and my name is Neil. And today what we're going to go ahead and go over actually is frame interpolation, gravity, momentum, and anticipation. And these four are all wrapped up into one cut or one scene animated by Shukou Murase. And we'll leave a link down to his works down in the description below. And before we go ahead and get this video started, hey, if you like the works, they will be presented in the description below or in the annotations above. And you can look at the other Sakuga breakdowns that we went over. So with that being said, go ahead and give this video a like. And if you'd like as well, go ahead and subscribe for more videos to come out soon. So let's go ahead and get into this one. This one's going to be a good one.
Try and get them to come closer.
So this today is a phenomenal scene that you just witnessed in the beginning of the video that I always wanted to go over. And it is just a staple in my head, the work that this animator did. So let's go ahead and go into this. So we'll go ahead and first deconstruct the new term that I coined here, frame interpolation. And that's basically just right here in this drawing. There is the drawing of Michiko starting to fall down, and then with that he focuses on the necklace turning at that point to give this frame just more life and more vibrance behind it. It's not just one. It could have been animated on these let's see, 1, 2, 3, this 3-frame picture as just one whole picture or one whole drawing, but he incorporated in this type of interpolation and given separate movements between the two stills. So the frame interpolation is just basically one instance and another instance on top of it, both having its two indirect actions being placed onto them. And that's what I thought was really interesting. And the movement behind this cut was really well done. And then we can go into this scene as well. Also impacts frame interpolation, where Michiko is on one frame of her own, or one drawing of her own. She has her own drawing, and then the old boss right here with the gun is also moving in his own regards to get himself into a more safe or a more stable position as she falls down. So let's go ahead and get into this. We'll go into gravity, momentum, and anticipation, all wrapped up into one cut right here. And it will be this animation, this beautiful display. My God, that always just sends chills down my spine every time I see this one kick. Whap! That is amazing. But let's go ahead and get into it. So, actually, I did it my own self. I was thoroughly intrigued with this thing. This could not have been done solely it could have been done imaginatively, honestly, but I surely believe that this animator had to have gone up and actually practiced this. So I took it upon myself to practice this on my own, and I wanted to show you it just to show the realism behind this animation and how you can incorporate this realistic ambitions in your own works. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we go, let's go ahead and stretch. You know me, I'm a brother who loves my stretching.
Try and get them to come closer.
Got our leg stretches here, bop, bop, bop. That's what I like. So as you notice, she keeps her legs straight, and she puts all her energy or all her momentum into that one heel stomp. And then from there on, she leans back, and you can see it in the animation where it's a couple frames of her leaning back just to get that energy, just to get that momentum and that anticipation going before the kick comes in. So that's what I wanted to copy into this frame. And then the kick comes out, so she will need a lot of energy to bring that kick to fruition. And the thing that I figured out by doing one swing is that to get she might be a certain height in those regards, and he might be a certain height, but to get to a higher height than me, I'm not a flexible guy like that, but to get to a certain height, I would have to bring down my head. And I can see it in the frame as well. She brought down her upper half of her body down lower, and I would have to touch the ground as well to actually keep my balance, to keep my to keep that full swing going, or that kick at full swing. But the negative part about this is there's a drawback between there's an unrealistic part behind it, because if you are going to go ahead and do that type of kick at a higher frame, then your center of gravity will change from the back of your heel to the front of your foot, or to the balls of your toes. So that plays into a part. Then how did she go about that? But mainly it might have been at a halfway mark of her own body, because the gentleman is short.
Try and get them to come closer.
All right, so we'll get that realism, and the realism behind it is actually factual. So I thoroughly believe that this animator had to have implemented his own practice into it, and that's a great example of doing these steps yourself in actual reality, and then implementing it into your own artistry or into your own work. So let's go ahead and get back into this. So what happened in this, the difference is she got tripped. So her center of gravity got messed up in all kinds of ways. And with that, it adds, the animator added a sense of actual realistic elements into this, because when the kick goes off and she passes by, let's go ahead and get some examples in here with our annotations here. And the kick goes by, let's change the color once more. It goes by here. Let's go ahead and change the size here, get the thickness up. It goes by, passes the gun, and I think she wanted to kick the gun out of his hands, and all this momentum is already being placed in this the center, and so everything is still being drawn, and the energy is still being carried out in full at the heel of her foot here, but everything is being displaced right here once she gets kicked off the ground. So everything is still being carried, and you can see, even tested out in my own practice, that the turn of the body, the upper body is carrying most of the weight, and then everything from the upper body, once it stops at a certain point, everything, all the energy will be transferred into the pelvic right here, the pelvic center, or the center of the body, and then be transferred into the leg here. So as it comes back around, you can see oh my gosh, that is beautiful. You can see all that momentum is being turned into the pelvic, and it's just a very, very strong drawing of how much energy is put into that pelvic. And this is just on the animator side, where he had over exaggerated the anatomy of the body to put all that emphasis on this kick that's about to happen. And then in the next frame, held on to the whop, there comes that huge turning point for the leg. It goes straight up because her center of gravity has been turned. Usually it would have just stayed here because her leg would have been still in this position, but everything is being turned, and you can see from the initial frame where she was coming from here, the turning of the upper body, it slowed down at the top, but the bottom is now picking up the rest of that energy and swinging it back down onto the floor. And then at first I was very confused at this frame, but everything actually wraps up neatly, because then her foot starts to come down, as you can see. And then this point here, when she got tripped, her foot has come up because everything is being followed by the upper body here. So the lower extremities is following suit, and everything has brought her airborne, showing the true magnification or the true power behind this kick. And at that point, she tries to gather herself here in mid-air, and this is just an amazing drawing, honestly. Just the art, the technique or the style behind Mr. Murase or Mrs. Murase is phenomenal. Sorry, I didn't do actually proper research behind these the animator, but I just wanted to focus mainly on the cut or the product that he or she put out. I apologize again. If you have any more information on this animator, please go ahead and inform me, and I'll properly describe it in the description. And I love the character design here, the character model, and how slim or slender or she's portrayed in this, and the clothes used on this character model I like the clothes design, honestly. It's very nice. I like the boots and everything. But she tries to gather herself here at this point, so she doesn't fall hard. I didn't want to replicate this one because it is a hard fall. This would be a hard fall. And at this point, she sticks out her leg at this point to break the fall, coming down from the lower extremity, and then everything will be caught here at her elbow. And then at that point, see the leg bounces up, momentum, and the energy is being transluted back into the upper body. And then at that point, wastes no time, 1-2 frames, and then nice 3 frames here just to slow down everything, get that body crunched up as she flips back over. And wow, that is nice. That's a nice amount of frames just to show her getting back up, and it just emphasizes so much realism. Gets her hand back into position to lift her upper body up, and that's when she realizes, well, that's messed up. And here's another definition of or another example of frame interpolation here, where the initial drawing was her in this position, Michiko in this position. And to show everything is still lively, everything is still moving, the hair is still moving, because she popped up at this moment, and everything, even the necklace, will be still layered onto her chest. But once she stops, that momentum is still going on the necklace. So the energy is transferred from her body into the necklace, and the necklace will lift up and come back down, actually stopping in the air at this moment, because the energy is being transluted or dispersed now into the atmosphere and the surroundings around it, and fall back down hastily at that moment. And at that point, it would have been nice if he, let's see if it actually animated. Yeah, it would have been nice if he had continued this falling down and it just dangles there, but hey. And explaining the hair as well, the hair also comes back down as everything in this frame is still, or everything in this photo or this drawing is still. So what would happen is you would have one picture or one drawing, take for instance one drawing as one layer, and then you'll have the second layer now, or even the third layer as the hair, and the second layer will be the necklace. The first layer will stay constant. So we'll draw a keyframe there, and we'll draw a keyframe there, and we'll say all these will stay constant throughout that. And then we'll have the keyframe here, still having that one drawing, but this will be the necklace, and we'll go ahead and add those on 2s, and even the final one on a 4 or a 5. Just to indicate that falling and hitting the chest. And we'll even implement that with the hair as well. We can even copy the same format that we did for the necklace. But that still frame, that drawing right there will remain. That will be the benefactor, or that will be the principal, while everything else is being drawn on different layers. But that was it. This one was nice. This one shows true understanding of anticipation between each kick, gravity, and frame management. Once again, sound design was great as well, and frame interpolation as well. But hey, that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and leave a comment down. And if you want some more, I'm still going to put out more anyways. Go ahead and subscribe so you can keep up to date on the next sessions. Hey, man. Or woman. Thank you, people, for joining in. And see you next time. Peace out.